Science-based lifting.
I want to set the bench angle to about 60 degrees.
Yo, what the fuck?
I said, don't go to failure.
No doubt you've seen it while you've been scrolling. It is taking over the niche lifting communities of TikTok and Instagram. A select few lifters preaching a new way to work out. But do they have words worth listening to, or is it just another fad that's here to come and go? I'm putting these questions to test in today's video. For 1 month straight, I'm going to train strictly adhering to these science-based principles. This means extra stability, extra frequency, extra isolation, all in an attempt to see if it can improve my max bench press. Start of the first day of the experiment. I have a cool all black fit on, I look sick as fuck, and motivation can help increase motor unit recruitment. Now you're gonna hear me say that a lot, and what does that mean exactly? Motor unit recruitment is when your nervous system activates motor units to produce force. Motor units are made up of a nerve and the muscle fibers it controls. The more effort an activity requires, the larger and more motor units get recruited. So, lifting with high effort and heavy loads will have greater motor unit recruitment than moderate effort and moderate loads. Some things that can increase motor unit recruitment are unilateral exercises, stable exercises, and motivation. Motor unit recruitment can sometimes be confused with mechanical tension, another factor that plays into hypertrophy. Mechanical tension is simply the contraction velocity of a repetition, or how fast a repetition is completed. The slower the repetition, the greater mechanical tension. This doesn't mean you have to actively think about contracting slowly during a movement, as that will decrease motor unit recruitment. Motor unit recruitment and mechanical tension work hand in hand when using weight that you can do in a low rep range and approaching failure. The first thing we need to do in order to conduct this experiment is to find my max bench press. $135, easy. $185. All right, now I just gotta wait for someone to get here to spot me, because dying is not science-based. All right, thank you so much, sir. Okay, 265 failed, but now we know. In a month's time, if I can hit 265, then science-based lifting is valid and probably here to stay. On to the first exercise of this workout. I started off with a really familiar movement, and here I do what's called a schizo rep, basically prepping myself for the set. And you've all seen this before. This is a classic pec deck, and I'm taking this to 1 to 2 reps in reserve, and I was using about 235 pounds while doing so. Dude, that feels so weird. Like, I know I had 1 or 2 more, but like, that's the point. I'm not training chest again in 3 or 4 days. I'm training it in 2 days. So I only get 1 day of rest in between. You're battling against yourself because I've been so conditioned to go to failure or 0 reps in reserve every single set and never leave anything in the tank. So on to the next exercise. One argument people like to bring up against full body every other day is enjoyability. Many people would rather be in the gym more than 3 to 4 days a week. However, the amount of sets completed in one workout may justify that. How many, you may ask? 36 sets. Now, granted, a lot of that is split between a bilateral and unilateral exercise. Like this, for example, this upper pec fly that I've using a bicep machine before. I'm splitting the right and left arm into 2 sets, going against everything that like I've been taught, which is, it's so weird, but like, the more you think about it, like kind of makes sense, right? Like your body is already like exhausted from 1 set, and then you gotta do another one, right? So like you're diluting all your force to one side. You're probably gonna be tired if you do it the other one in the same set. It's weird. I finished my other arm doing my second set of flies, and then I moved on to the chest press machine where I actually did serratus anterior pushes. I don't know what you want to call them, but I did not just do a chest press on these. Then I moved to a more familiar movement, which I actually liked a lot more, a lying front delt raise. Now, this was familiar, so I knew a weight I could use, and it helped with gauging reps in reserve. Same with my side raises here. I already do these, so it was a lot easier to gauge how much weight I should be doing for them. I will say the 1 set per exercise is extremely motivating. So it's almost like you ask yourself to push harder in order to have like a greater like 0 reps in reserve. Like you can hit like 0 reps in reserve and be like, oh, okay, when you have like 2 sets, because you're like, okay, I'll just hit it again. But like when you have 1 set, it's a completely different feeling because you're like, all right, like if last week, if the reps I hit is still 0 RAR, then like something's wrong. I gotta push like that, you know what I'm saying? Here, I just moved on to a bilateral set of rear delt flies, and look at my booty, bro. It's kind of big right there, no lie. This is what I've been excited for, stability maxing. Check it, arm goes through here, full stack on that side, can't move at all. Then you go over here, so you can force your arm forward like the tricep extension naturally wants you to, and then, but you won't go forward. So you can just put more force in. It's genius. Bluetooth cuff, as always, along with this. Let's go. Wow. Okay, I know a lot of people like call the science-based lifters, like they see Iron Unk and Yotox like stability max like that. It's like fun as hell, and it like allows you to push so like much more. Like how can you not love that? Finished up my palm up tricep push downs. I don't really like using the flapper for this. Then I moved on to dips, where I did a schizo rep, and then I did 90 pounds, so I'm getting close to that 100 mark, and I was really excited to do these because I could go for more weight because I was gauging reps in reserve. Here I was doing Keenan flaps, another movement that I regularly do, so I know what weight I had to use. I've officially spent 1 hour in the gym, and I still have quite a few muscle groups left to hit. Now, these long sessions can be draining. However, I think that full body every other day can get away with it because you're not taking all your sets to 0 reps in reserve or failure. So like, because you have more in the tank, you can hit longer sessions, and then you can also hit them more frequently throughout the week. So like, big plus. Moved on to my sagittal plane Keenan flaps. Again, if you can't tell, I do like doing this in the morning just because there's less people and it's less awkward to record, especially when you're bringing the bench all the way over to the cable stack. Then I moved on to some Kelso shrugs. These are kind of hard because I don't really know how to gauge my retraction, so I'll have to work on that. Moved on to my Yotox recline curls. I need to figure out how much I should be leaning back because I feel like I'm using too much of my body weight. Here is where things got a little dicey. See, I way overshot on how much I thought I could preacher curl, so what did I do? Did I keep my tail between my legs? No. I turned this into an isometric. Now, what is an isometric, you may ask? Basically, an isometric is when you load up heck of weight to where you can't even move it or do a rep, and you push as hard as you can and the motion you're supposed to do the rep. And you do that for 1 to 3 second holds. Now, why does this work? Well, mechanical tension is literally 0. There's 0 contraction speed, so it's the most mechanical tension you can have. And it all is effort based. So your motor unit recruitment is based solely on how hard you push in those reps, quote unquote. I moved on to some back extensions. I've never ever done these before and they felt really good. My back was cooked after. Then I was full stacking the leg extension, so I'm definitely gonna have to switch to unilateral next week. I did not feel any extra fatigue, even though I hit legs like the last. Here's lying leg curls. I don't really like the lying one, but it's the only thing my gym has. Then I went on to use the leg extension machine for my unilateral hip thrusts. I moved on to the calf raise. Now, this is something I'm iffy on. I can't get my leg straight on the seated one, so I definitely need to find an alternative where I use a straight leg path. Now here I use some unilateral hip flexion, then I do some hip abduction, followed by an isometric hip adduction. These feel really good. I love these. Then I did an RDL, SDL. I can't really tell what I'm doing here, but I accidentally hit failure, so a little more fatigue there, unfortunately. Not a great start. Did some ab crunches on the cable machine, and I'm definitely gonna need to find a replacement for these because I already full stacked it and I already have a 10-pound plate on the pin, so that is gonna need to change. Then I moved on to using the pec deck to hit obliques, and I really like the way these feel. These are the most I've ever felt obliques. And then I moved on to some bicep supinations. Not sure how I feel about them, but I can only use like 0 weight on them. It was like 2.5 I was doing there. First physique check of the experiment. I'm thinking I look pretty good. I hit everything, so I was decently pumped. My back was especially pumped, I think, because my spinal erectors from those back extensions, I don't really hit those. I thought I looked pretty good for my very first time hitting a full body workout. Pretty successful first session. However, I do have some notes. Number 1, It's a lot easier to gauge reps in reserve the heavier weight you go, because then you'll do less reps. Like, it's a lot easier to gauge how many bicep curls I'm gonna have left when I'm using a 40, which is what I usually use, rather than using like a 30, because then I'm doing like a lot more reps, and it's just like the scale, I'd say, of how easy it is to gauge how many reps I have left gets like way harder to judge the more reps you do. So the heavier weight, the easier it is to gauge reps in reserve. Number two, a lot of these exercises could be combined. Like, that was a 2-hour workout, and I recorded, and I had to test my max bench press at the beginning. So no doubt it's less than 2 hours if I just did no recording and just did the lifts. If I was strapped for time, I could combine a lot of those exercises into one. We had a really good pump, actually. We had an incredible pump. I was kind of concerned because it was a longer workout, but then again, like I mentioned earlier, leaving those reps in reserve actually helped a ton for saving a bunch of energy. I thought that was really enjoyable. But what about other people? What does the standard lifter think about science-based lifting? Who am I here with?
I'm with Daniel Moss right here.
I am Bella Tornabane, also Be Crazy, Be Shiesty.
My name is Drew.
What do you think about science-based lifting?
Yeah, I'm big into science-based lifting.
Really?
I'm an exercise science major.
Well, that's good to hear.
I fuck with it. I know a lot of people like in the gym don't care about that shit, but like I think about that shit. I redo my research, and yeah, that's about it.
Science-based lifting?
It's good to get involved, you know. It's how you're gonna get the biggest strength gain in a short amount of time, honestly, and just better health over a longer period of time.
Do you think that people are too quick to jump from what they're doing, exercise to exercise, workout to workout, just based on what studies come out that week?
Yes, actually, Sam, I do think that can be a problem because
It would get hard to track progressive overload.
it would get hard to track progressive overload.
I think people go with trends. I think people go on social media and they'll see like an influencer say this shit. It could be completely wrong, but since they're an influencer, they'll go for it. And no matter like what they say, they kind of think like, oh, that's the best idea because they're fucking jacked. But I think it's really important to do your research and do shit like that.
Appreciate it, bro. Yeah, of course. It's week 2 of the experiment, and a lot of my lifts have drastically gone up in weight. And like, I'm not talking like 5 or 10 pounds, I'm talking some of them like 20. Like
Pec deck.
a lot, lateral raise a lot. It's really interesting how progression has skyrocketed. I mean, that's what's to be expected though, right? Because we're hitting the muscle group 3 to 4 times a week. I mean, it doesn't feel like rocket science. It feels pretty self-explanatory. I haven't changed up too much from the split. I've taken some things out, added some things in. Like, I'm no longer doing the hip flexion exercise, but I am doing a leg press, and I feel really solid about the day. I have 1 upper isometric, 1 lower isometric, just to keep things even. And overall, I'm really satisfied with the condition of a lot of these lifts. I have not gone down in weight in any of them. What's good, potato chips? It is currently 12:39.
As in midnight.
I have not been able to fall asleep. So I'm not sure what that's because of. I drank a bang yesterday, I guess. And I don't know if that's it. I literally have zero idea why I can't fall asleep. So we have about 5 hours until the gym opens. Let's see if we can progress off of 3 hours of sleep. This will take incredible mental toughness. Very dumb idea, but I am in the middle of a month-long experiment. I mean, you gotta do what you gotta do. I guess I'm just gonna get cracking on this laundry, and I don't know. I'll update you guys on what I do for these next 5 hours. Literally for the past 5 hours, I've just been like BSing around. Trying to get more optimal with it. I go to the gym in the mornings. Yeah, just been walking around, watching YouTubers, but so I got me thinking I should be more optimal with the training or whatever, especially because today it could be detrimental to the whole experiment. So we have a pre-workout meal with us. It's not much. It is 13 pieces of candy corn and a Fiber One bar to get some carbohydrates in us before we lift, considering we've been up for 5 hours now, and we need some energy. And so we're gonna definitely double scoop this superhuman carbs before the pre, obviously. And we're not gonna drink this right before we go to the gym like normal. We're gonna drink it about hour, 45 minutes out because I don't really care for the tinglies, right? That's not what I'm looking for. I'm looking for the caffeine to be absorbed in my system. So that's why we're gonna drink it so far out, one might say. And then we're gonna put an element in there. This doesn't have a flavor. This is raw, unflavored. So this pre is going to taste like booty cheeks because it's just gonna be so salty. But well, we want some more sodium, help the pump, you know. When I see myself, I'll feel better because I'm more pumped. Workout won't be a complete waste of time. I'm gonna down this, I want to say 30, 40 grams of carbs, but like 20 grams of sugar just from the candy corn. Like, are we serious? But you gotta do what you gotta do. Like I've been saying, you only get one set for everything, so you have to make that shit count. Otherwise, what are you even there for? I'm gonna put my all into everything, just like usual, and we're gonna try to progress, just like every single other day. Definitely a no talking workout, probably. Just completely locked is what we want to be.
Dario's dead. She didn't make it.
Huh? What are you doing?
The last thing I can do for her.
We got a Delta, or we end up like her!
No more running from me, dog. Reaper's finally calling my name.
What are you saying? It's okay. I'll fight with you.
David.
Made up my mind. Got your back. I'm getting you out of this, Maine. Damn it, stop shaking. Max Tech Freak's come and get us. Just fucking try. I'm gonna save you. We're gonna get out of here, Maine. You and me. And then...
David. You can't do it.
I don't... Why would you... Why...
This is it. It's the end of the line for me. But not for you. Fast is what you do best, ain't it? Just keep running.
Look, Mom. I'm here. Very top of Arasaka Tower. All right. One last vial left. Hey, Doc.
Once you go screaming over the edge, it's all over. Ain't no fucking coming back from that. Doesn't matter if you're special or not.
You were right. But there's no other way. Not for me.
Nice. That was actually a good workout. We managed to progress in about 3/4 of our lifts, and I think I have a plan to get us back on track. So I'm gonna be eating about half of my calorie expenditure here in this first meal, or second meal really, of the day, but for breakfast, because I don't want to crash halfway through the day. Are you laughing at me? No. Okay, I don't want to crash halfway through the day. So we're eating a lot now, make sure we have a lot of energy. So we have tater tots, turkey sausage patties, wheat bread, an omelet, and then more turkey sausage patties. All the macronutrients, one meal. We're gonna crush this, and hopefully we don't crash halfway through the day, because we have a lot on our plate today. More elaboration on stacking the calories at the beginning of the day. Our body won't be focused on digestion as much in the end of the day, and it can focus on going to bed and sleeping, because I have a bad habit of saving my calories for the end of the day, and then my body's stuck digesting, and I go to bed like maybe an hour after I eat. Not good. So less calories, less to digest, easier sleep. It is 6:20 right now, dark in my room. I've been up for 18 hours now, so I really should be going to bed. Gonna completely reset the body, and I think we'll be good to go, back on track. We hit lots of protein today, lots of carbs, just enough, maybe, we'll see, to get us back on track for this experiment. And I think we'll be able to bench 260 by the end of it. That's my prediction. Let's talk frequency for a bit. So frequency is just how often you hit the muscle group, right? So of our most popular splits, let's say, here we have bro. Then we'll have PPL, and Arnold tends to fall in that category as well. Then we have upper lower / anterior posterior, and then we have full body every other day. These are our main categories. Now these are split up based on frequency. So your bro splits, right? You're only hitting the muscle group once a week. So that has 1 times frequency. Push-pull legs, twice a week. 2 times frequency. Upper lower / anterior posterior, 2.5 times a week. Full body every other day, 3.5 times a week. Now, there's halves in these frequencies because sometimes you hit the muscle group twice a week and sometimes you hit it 3 times a week. And then for full body every other day, sometimes you hit it 3 times, sometimes you hit it 4 times. What does this like mean? What do all these numbers mean, right? There's numbers at the end of the day, but what do they mean? If we're hitting the muscle group once per week, that means that in total, in an entire year, we've hit it 52 times, all right? Okay. But if you just up that frequency to 2, you're now hitting that muscle group 104 times. Double bro. Then we have upper lower anterior posterior. 2.5 times a week is 130 times a year. More than all of these. Guess what full body every other day is? 182 times a week. You are hitting your muscles 78 more times than push-pull legs. You're hitting it 52 more times than upper, lower, and anterior posterior. Full body every other day might be the method. All right, it is the last workout, the last full workout of this month-long experiment. I'm gonna show you guys everything that's changed since the first experiment, or the first day, I guess. Crazy amount of change has happened, and you'll see what I mean in a bit. We started off this last workout with Smith machine bench press. I'm trying to get used to the movement so that I know how to do a bench press like with good form at the end of the experiment. So that's why we use the Smith. A lot more stable than regular barbell bench press, and I am not locking out my elbows here because I'm not trying to train triceps. Then, rather than the unilateral incline pec flies we were doing at the beginning, we are now doing incline press. That is because I've maxed out the bicep curl machine and I don't use those cables anymore because it's just too unstable. So the incline press is a fine replacement for sure. Then I moved on to my front delt raises, lying of course, trying to really lock in on the form. I've noticed that I like swing my body forward to get the weight up sometimes. Might fall down a bit these last reps, but yeah, see, like I really don't want to use my body's momentum to move it. Freaking broke my tripod here, but moved on to our standing unilateral bussy raises, aka Bluetooth cuff unilateral standing single joint at elbow raises. I've always loved these, no lie. Then we moved on to reverse flies for the rear delts, easy cheeks. Starting off triceps, we did our stability maxed unilateral press downs or push downs, whatever you want to call them. Using the row attachment is a game changer if you don't have a cuff, no lie. Then we moved on to my favorite tricep movement of all time, dips. These are getting kind of hard to like control. Like the setup is just so long, so I think I might switch these out for a JM press or maybe just like a skull crusher soon. But these are like so like freaking time consuming to set up, but they look raw, so it's like give and take. Moving on to back, we did some rear delts. Started off with the frontal plane, which is where I'm like to the side, of course. These are awesome, and the Bluetooth cuff makes a heck of a difference. I love being able to squeeze something. Did some sagittal plane flaps, and we freaking maxed out the stack, so I had to add weight plates onto it. So raw. No longer doing Smith kelsos, because those are so weird to set up, so time consuming, and also like my chest gets smashed into the bench. So here we just did some dumbbell kelso shrugs, which I like a lot more. I'm not using straps because like then without straps, my like perception of effort is higher because I have to squeeze more, so it's easier to leave things at 1 rep in reserve. Did some recline curls or yo curls as some people call them. These are I'm a big fan of these. I have to train biceps every other session though because they sometimes get ultra fatigued and like I can't even get one, but these was 4 for 50, which I was really proud of. Also, unrecorded was a back extension, by the way. So just pretend that I did them in this session. Forgot to record, but here I had some leg press. It felt so cool, bro. Then, I don't know what I was trying to do here with this recording, but we did some calf raises with the same leg press. Staying at the same machine makes it so much easier to like not waste time in the gym. Did some unilateral quad extensions, or leg extensions as some people call them. Also, peep those Yu-Gi-Oh pants, bro. Thanks, girlfriend. I maxed out the machine, so I had to do unilateral now because bilateral is too light. As always, we are doing some hip thrusts on the leg extension machine again. I would like to find a replacement for these because these just aren't as fun to me, but they are still a great option. Then we did some lying hamstring curls. Again, not my favorite variation of a hamstring curl, but it's the only one my gym has, so I didn't really mind. And we maxed out the machine, so pretty soon we're gonna have to find a replacement for these. Maybe an isometric, I don't know. Then we did our first isometric of the session, a adductor isometric. Dude, I looked crazy doing it in front of this chick. She was like, what is this guy doing? Then we moved on to our obliques on the pec deck, getting real close to maxing this out. So I found a trick. If I pull the bar that I have closer to me, it's way harder to turn. So I think that's a good progression trick. Then we moved on to some ab crunches. Again, you have to see I maxed this out, so I had to add some weight to it. And I just used the Keenan flappers from earlier. Makes it so easy. I'm not trying to grip anything, any attachment, so that my grip is a limiting factor. These felt great. Then we moved on to some abductor raises. These aren't really like a crazy movement. I'm not a great big fan of these because I feel like I progress so much. I'm like, am I even doing this right? But it's whatever. Then we moved on to our final movement, a bicep supination on the bicep machine. These look crazy. People probably think that I can't even lift that much weight. It's wild. This was the physique today. I'll put the first physique check side by side with this one. Bro, I looked absolutely insane today compared to the first day. Like, progress, physique-wise, has definitely been made. So physique and strength have gone up, and like, I'm just so proud of myself, bro. I'm just glad like nobody online can tell me like physique reveal when, because yo, it's here, bro. It's here. It is the morning of the big day. We are shooting for that 265 bench PR to see if perhaps science-based lifting has helped me get there or not. So we have our pre-workout meal, about 30 grams of carbs right here, just some simple Quaker oatmeal. And we're going to add this pack of Nature Nate's honey to it, so that'll be dope. And we just have the pre-workout we always have, 1 scoop of alkaline with a scoop of creatine in it. And yeah, we want to keep it consistent throughout, I guess, the experiment, so that's what we're working out in the morning. And obviously, it might be a bit better if I try to hit the PR like at the end of the day when I have so many carbs in my system, but I didn't try to hit it at the beginning of the experiment at the end of the day, so I'm gonna do it in the morning again, right? Like, that's just, like, that's only fair. I think it'll go well. I'm gonna crush this pre-workout meal, and we'll see how it goes. T-minus 1 hour until we start working out. Let's get it. Just one rep max. Thank you so much. Yep. You want to lift off? Or? Yes, please. Thank you. Would I count that as a success? Like, we were basically there. The bar only got touched when it was being redirected because it was a shaky eccentric, no lie. Like, that was one of the worst eccentrics I've ever done in my life. But it's because I don't really do that, just regular barbell bench press now, because it's like kind of unstable, but I mean, that's kind of what I was training for. So maybe I implement that instead of the Smith machine or fly going forward, because that's what I'm training for. But I'm counting that as a success. Like, I got it up, and the only time it was touched was for redirection. And like, I don't know, I low-key think I hit that though. I think I hit that. Now, despite failing the bench, I went on my workout just as I regularly have would. I mean, I wasn't demotivated at all, actually, surprisingly, even though I had just missed my mark. But, you know, I actually was even more motivated to work out because I wanted to get stronger. So, like, I mean, motor unit recruitment, boom, am I right? I was very pleased with myself. I mean, I felt a lot stronger than I did at the beginning of the experiment, and I had no reason to be sad. It's not like I could never hit this thing. I just had to keep trying. So, what did I think of that experiment? Was it a success? Yes, I would say so. Even though we did not snipe that 260 bench, I am looking forward to continue this science journey. I think we can snipe it sooner rather than later. I mean, we only did it for 1 month, and our form improved, our physique improved. We shot up on weight in tons of different exercises. It was insane. When you see all these kids on TikTok and Instagram talking about, you know, all these new training ideals, it's easy to get wrapped up in, bro, like, look how they look. Like, I'm not gonna listen to them. But at the end of the day, they're sharing important information. If you don't wanna listen to them, that's fine. There's plenty of different ways to get to a single endpoint. Like, one physique is not gonna be made just by one way. All it takes is time and consistency. But sometimes it goes faster, sometimes it goes slower, based on what you do. So before you go dropping hate comments on everyone, think about it. They're just trying to share info to help people. So, science-based W, for sure. I've been Son Beeman. That was the month-long experiment. Let me know if you want me to do more experiments like this in the future. I'd be happy to do so, and I'll see y'all in the next video.